if you are that homeowner, Jackie.
Very unlucky, and extra lucky if you're the one next door that was just untouched. We want to update you with what we know right now. A particularly dangerous situation, tornado watch, is still in effect for parts of Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and northwestern Georgia. 6 deaths now are blamed on storms in both Alabama and Mississippi. Police in Pelham, Alabama say approximately 30 to 50 homes and structures have been damaged from a tornado earlier today. And power outages have been on the increase, with more than 36,000 customers without power in Alabama. And we just got word that officials in the Birmingham area where all this damage has occurred, Mike, they're asking people to stay out of these areas. They're having a hard time getting there because so many gawkers have been come to take a look.
And then you get a traffic jam as a result. And it takes, first responders just way too long to get in there and help in these situations. But that damage is very significant in some of these neighborhoods. We still have a lot of storms ongoing right now across the Deep South, but also spreading up now toward the Ohio Valley. So this has been the main line of storms here that's produced a lot of the damage that you've seen today. But now we're starting to get more storms fire back here across Middle Tennessee, up towards, say, Louisville, or even Cincinnati. So that's a look at the storms that we've got going on right now. We've got a tornado warning right here in Tennessee. That tornado warning near the town of Savannah, Tennessee here, coming right through Hardin County right now. Radar indicated tornado. Once you get to a safe spot as quickly as you can. Timing this one out for you. I'm going to move that tracker for you just a little bit. If you're in Olive Hill, 7:07 is when it's going to be there. In Houston, around 7:13. Follow the line up around Nashville. Strong line here coming through. Not tornado warn, not severe thunderstorm warn, but if you look down here, it's getting a lot more intense around Little Lot and potentially up toward the Franklin area as well. Severe thunderstorm warning getting closer to Bowling Green, Kentucky tonight. Logan, Simpson, Warren counties all under severe thunderstorm warnings. A storm that's come past Louisville that has had a history of big hail is severe thunderstorm warning in Henry County. Back over in Indiana, coming past Greer, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning here as well. And I noticed that we've got one new tornado warning down through Alabama. I want to get to that. So Birmingham sits right here in the center of your screen, and now we've got a tornado warning right down here in southwestern Alabama. That now is Choctaw County under a severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning. So if you're in Butler, want you to get to shelter pretty quickly tonight, as we've got this new tornado warning for you. There's a little bit of rotation right over Butler, could be headed toward the Sweetwater area. So again, get to the lowest level of your home as quickly as you can tonight, because these storms will be ongoing. Here's a look at the atmosphere that we're forecasting in. A lot of instability here. So if we can map that, and you can see a lot of instability across the Deep South, but right in there, see that instability riding up over the front there, and right where the low is. A lot of times right where the low itself is can bring enough lift in the atmosphere that you're going to get these storms to fire. But along the front and south of the front is where you're going to have a lot of instability, and the storms that are really going to focus along that warm front produce some heavy amounts of rain as well. So flash flooding will be an ongoing concern through the evening, not to mention the tornadoes that are very likely.
And that flash flooding has been a problem already in Birmingham, Alabama, where we've had a flash flood warning in effect. Our Paul Goodlow is there live right now. Paul, how have conditions been since the latest tornado warnings?
Well, since then we had bouts of heavy rain come through. Right now we're seeing a little light rain, which is great news. The bad news is we've already had a lot of heavy rain. No tornado warnings right now, but we're still under a flash flood warning for the Birmingham metro area. In fact, just north of us, about 12 miles or so, we have video from Gardendale, Alabama, of some pretty heavy rain coming on through. Seeing some light scattered showers here, but the broader view will show you there's more rain off to our south and west. Everything is moving from the south and west to the north and east. Again, we're not quite out of the woods. We still have that tornado watch in effect, but it's also an ongoing flash flood warning for scenes like this. Widespread 3 to 4 inches plus of rain has already fallen. Certain areas probably exceeding maybe 5 or 6 inches of rain. That's on top of the rain we had last week come through. So the ground is a sponge. The good news is, as we hear rumble of thunder, we're in spring now. So we're starting to see things green up, and that will, perhaps the environment will draw more moisture out of the ground into the trees and plants and what have you. It's not like we're in the middle of January or so where you have a lot more runoffs, but still we've had way too much rain. The ground is saturated and ongoing flash flood concerns across the region, and many areas seeing in excess of 4 or 5 inches of rain. The broader view of the radar will show you there's still more rain out to our south and west, even some storms in Mississippi taking that southwest to northeast journey. So we're not quite out of the woods. I think once we get towards say midnight or so, we'll start slowly clearing out Alabama from the northwest corner of the state, eventually on down towards lower Alabama. That'll take a while for lower Alabama to clear out, but we're still watching sunset right now, officially right about now, a couple minutes after 7 o'clock. And once we lose that sun, we still have that risk for tornadoes. So when you hear those warnings, not even our flash flood warnings, that means water is rising. If you live in an area which is prone to flooding, and there are many areas here in northern Alabama, you need to be weather aware because the sun continues to go down over the next hour or so. Jackie?
Yeah, Paul, we're still waiting for that cold front to get on through there before we can clear people out of that severe weather risk. And that risk is lifting northward at this hour as well. In fact, our area of low pressure working its way up here in the tri-state area near southwestern Indiana. And we've got storms that are firing up along the front. We've got storms that are firing out ahead of that and getting near that triple point because we've got that warm front that's lifting up towards the north as well. So we'll take you into southern Illinois, Mount Vernon. Here's Evansville, Indiana. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning just to the north of you. That one has been producing frequent lightning and a lot of hail as well. Taking you down towards Johnson City into eastern parts of Tennessee, we're getting some of that heavy rain, and you can see some frequent lightning bringing some continued downpours across this area as well. Nashville, we know you got hit once already with the hail and heavy downpours. More storms are beginning to push through the area. Sarah, looks like we got a new warning down here. If you could push my radar up just a little bit so we can give folks a better look at that near Little Lot. You can see a big lightning spike there as well, and a brand new tornado warning to go with that too. So this is Lewis, Perry, Wayne counties, including Waynesboro, as well as the city of Clifton. Doppler radar indicating some tornado back here. Looks like near the Savannah area where we've got some of that rotation. I'm not seeing anything really clear in there at this time, but I believe if we have anything going on, it would be right here to the east of Savannah. So that's heading up towards the north and east, and you folks need to be taking your tornado precautions right now, getting to the lowest level of your home, away from doors and windows. That is going to be heading towards Waynesboro. It's going to be moving right across 641, the U.S. highway right there. Houston, it should be moving in at 714. Waynesboro, it arrives about 725, works its way up towards Ashland, or perhaps just to the south of you at 735, and if it holds together, it will make its way over towards the Barnesville area. We'll take you a little farther up towards the north here, where we've got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. This is for Henry County. Here's Cincinnati, just to put it into perspective for you, the Cincy metro area. So watch out, heads up that these storms are beginning to develop here, likely getting some hail out of these thunderstorms, as well as some strong gusty winds. This would be crossing Interstate 71, Carrollton, New Liberty, and Warsaw, all included in that severe thunderstorm warning. So this threat is going to be going later into the Ohio Valley, we think, but we are also seeing more of those storms bringing heavy rain across parts of the south. So Dr. Nab, you've got more on that flash flood risk, which often there's a bit of a delayed effect, right, that it continues even after the rain stops.
Yeah, and unfortunately in these events that risk often lasts past dark, and when the water has been falling from the sky all day and the roads and the low spots start to fill up and it gets dark, we all have a lot more trouble determining what is on the road. Is there water covering the road? And if there is, what's the condition of the road underneath? So with the severe and the tornado threat ongoing and the flooding becoming more of a problem on the roads, there's just no reason to be out and about tonight in Alabama and Tennessee and North Georgia. It's just so dangerous. And look at hundreds of miles of areas in central to northern Alabama and surrounding areas that are under flood or flash flood warnings of some kind. And it's just been training over the same areas, so especially northern Alabama, northwest Georgia, and even up into upstate South Carolina. That's where the heaviest rain has fallen, and even a little strip there in northwestern Alabama. Florence area, you're so vulnerable to flooding, and even though it's not raining at this moment, it has rained a lot, and more is on the way. And in this flood warning area, we've had a lot of problems on the roads, especially in the Sheffield area, with a foot or more of water covering a number of roads. just don't need to be on the roads tonight, and there's more rain coming in from the west with that front, as Jackie was just describing. A little farther east in northern Alabama, the Decatur area, right along I-65, a flood warning until 10:45, and we've had Betty Street reported to be covered with water. And then go to the northeastern part of Alabama, Coleman along I-65, a flood warning, and numerous reports of water-covered roads there. And then in the Fort Payne area, so this is along I-59, if you go southwestward from the Chattanooga area, a flash flood warning is in effect till 9:30. And look at this report. Numerous roads in Fort Payne are closed due to flash flooding. Water is 2 feet deep in some places along Dye Branch on Highway 35. And look at this long list of roads in the Fort Payne area that are closed. So you're going to have a really hard time getting around in that area. Chattanooga's under a warning until 10:30, and we have the earlier report of a number of roads in the county covered in water. And then northwestern Georgia, it's been raining pretty much all day. You've got Blairsville over to Dalton's under a warning, as is the Rome, Georgia area, so I-75 between Chattanooga and Atlanta, and there's more coming in from the southwest. So you have the severe threat, Mike, but we've also got to, stay off the roads, not just to, be in a good shelter for the night with the severe threat, but if you get out on the roads when it's dark tonight, with as heavy as it's raining, with that convection, that could be life-threatening too.
Absolutely. So, the best thing, we mention this all the time. Be home, be in your safe place, be ready to take action within your safe place as quickly as you can. But driving into the danger is the last thing you want to do tonight. I want to show you some more of these severe storms that are firing now. North Carolina back down into southwestern Alabama. Into Birmingham, we've still got the flood risk going on here, but the severe thunderstorms and tornado threat is not there at the moment. But it's outside of, well outside of Birmingham. In fact, over towards, say, Butler, Choctaw County is under a tornado warning. That includes the town of Butler, where it's come right over top of you. It's now passed to your east. We've also got a tornado warning approaching the Thomaston area, but that warning is for Marengo County, including the towns of Linden and Myrtlewood and Providence. So we again want you to get to your safe spot as quickly as you can. Linden, it's going to be there pretty quickly here tonight. The radar is indicating we've got some spin in the atmosphere right now. That warning is until 8 o'clock local time tonight. As we time this out for you, half acre around 7:13, half chance around 7:26, and Rembert around 7:16 tonight. Then we go over into northern Georgia. So Atlanta sits right here. You go up, say, 75 or 575, you're going to run into this thunderstorm. Bartow, Cherokee, and northern Fulton County, and that Fulton County segment's going to be right in there, is under that severe thunderstorm warning. That goes until 8:30, and a tornado is possible within that area. So again, inside tonight is where you have to be, off the roads. A lot of flooding happening for us in North Georgia. Over into North Carolina, Charlotte, there's a line converging on you tonight. Really heavy rain in the foothills in around Hickory, headed over along I-40, and then eventually some heavier rain coming. It's already there, but more heavy rain coming along I-77 tonight. There's a severe thunderstorm warning east side of Greensboro tonight. So if you're in Alamance or Guilford County, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. Tornado also possible here, and that warning goes until the top of the hour, so another 45 minutes plus on that one. The atmosphere is just ripe for severe weather even after it's dark tonight. A lot of instability. We're mapping that tonight in the yellow, the orange, the pinks on the map tonight. A lot of instability still to be tapped into all the way down to, say, New Orleans tonight, but also really maximizing the instability as the low pushes in to Middle Tennessee tonight. So heavy rain along the front, storms deep south, and storms Tennessee and Kentucky. A lot going on tonight, folks. We've got you covered right after this short break.
With the Dish Anywhere app, you can watch
your life out here.
Currently in our area, 62 degrees with rainy conditions. Tonight, thunderstorms likely. A few storms may be severe. Low 60. Friday, cloudy early with partial sunshine in the afternoon. High 81. Friday night, mostly clear skies, low 54. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It was just living in the moment of disbelief.
We really were caught off guard.
We couldn't leave. We were stuck there.
There was going to be nothing we could do except try to make it through safely.
That is the most scared that I have felt in my life.
Oh my God!
It's surreal.
Holy...
And welcome back to continued coverage here on the Weather Channel. I'm meteorologist Reynolds Wolf, coming to you from Scenic City. That, of course, is here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, right here in the heart of Hamilton County. And right along Chestnut Street, all is relatively quiet for the time being. But I'll tell you, we've got traffic moving right down the street. But it's the atmospheric traffic that gives us a bit more concerns, the heavy rainfall that we could experience that we've already dealt with today, and knowing that we have a tornado watch until 1 o'clock in the morning. But there's more. We also have a wind advisory that'll be in effect into the morning hours. Same holds true for flood issues, flood advisories, and that flood threat is going to actually go into the weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. Let's lay the groundwork for you. At the Weather Channel, we do practice what we preach in terms of safety, so we do have a safe place to go should severe weather come calling, and we do expect it. We're going to go right here into the parking garage. On the other side of the doors, we certainly have some spots there. There are also a couple of stairwells that will be safe in case we do have some tornadic activity. Now, as we mentioned briefly ago, it was last year we had some tornadic activity here in the Chattanooga area, but if you go back, at this point it's almost a decade, where you had 81 people that lost their lives, and that all that occurred about 60 miles from our exact location. So severe weather can occur here in parts of eastern Tennessee. And then something else considered when you think about Chattanooga is you've got an area where you have the Appalachian meet up with the Southern Plateau. So you have rolls in terms of the topography. So when you do have rain that moves through, that rain really can be enhanced by something that we refer to as orographic lift. So when you think about the abundance of rainfall that we've had already today, that we're going to have this evening, and that we could have into the weekend, it's a foregone conclusion that flooding could be a very, very real problem. And when you think about the Chattanooga area with its many streams, with its creeks, with its rivers, a lot of places for that water really to cause all kinds of hazardous conditions. So people, I advise you, please be careful out there. Certainly not the night to be out driving around and surveying the scene. Got to wait for these storms to go on through. But the most important thing you and your friends and family can do is to have a plan in place. Okay? You have to have a strategy of where to go. And then, better yet, if you do hear those sirens go off, if you're notified by NOAA Weather Radio, by your phone, or by the Weather Channel, you want to act quickly. You want to get to that low-lying spot, away from the walls and windows, and that is certainly the safest spot for you. The sky has been a tapestry of blue and now gray, and you just might be able to make in the silhouettes of some of those clouds that are moving on through. But I'll tell you, what we expect, I'd say the next 15 to 20 minutes, heavier rain coming through, and even more during the overnight hours. That's the story that we have for you in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Let's send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you very much for that, Reynolds. We want to show you some of the tornadoes that we've seen today, and some of them have been massive, and they have caused some damage. This is a look near Calera, Alabama. This is going to be south of Birmingham by roughly 30-35 miles, and storm tracker John Humphreys was there and captured it coming right across I-65. And
wow.
What's alarming is, Jackie, look at all those cars driving toward it, right?
Yeah.
They probably don't even know because the highway's lined by trees. You can't see it.
Right. I saw some flashing lights there, though, you know, on the right-hand side. I wonder if, hopefully people have pulled over and put their hazards on, but just incredible to see that. You can clearly see the rotation involved there, but one of the things that I think this video can be a great tool to use is when you look at the tree canopy on both sides of it, right? It is, you couldn't see that tornado coming from the right.
No.
You could see low clouds were there, but it touches almost at the same level as the cloud base. So it's really tough to know why it's so important to be prepared and be alert and know your surroundings and have a way to get alerted no matter where you are via your GPS, right?
Oh, absolutely. That can just be a lifesaver, right? Then how about this little spin up here in Noxubee County, Mississippi? Now, if we're going to have a tornado, this is the kind to have, right?
Yeah.
Small, thin tornado over
In the
a
middle
field.
of nowhere.
Gosh,
Yeah.
if we could be so lucky all the time, right? We know that hasn't been the case. You know, it's growing here. You can see the tornado coming past the bins here, but you know, a lot of places have had really big, violent tornadoes today, and they've come through neighborhoods.
Yeah, it's really been the two supercells that we've been tracking, you know, all afternoon and into the evening, where we've seen some of the worst of the damage, unfortunately. And this video from Pelham, Alabama, is showing you some of the debris that's getting lofted. Did you see that huge chunk way up in the sky? So this tells you that, yeah, that's definitely on the ground. It's definitely causing some damage as it moves along. And while we don't necessarily see it in this video, Mike, we know that in Pelham that somewhere between 30 and 50 homes took some serious damage today.
Yeah, a lot of homes were damaged today. We've seen a lot of different videos of damage, a video from the air. You know, drones give us such a great perspective. This tornado happened earlier in the day, just after lunchtime or so, but a large tornado. And some of the tornadoes that we've seen today have been really big tornadoes. This is a big cone tornado. The debris is very obvious here, but also notice the rugged terrain too. You know, you see the hills in the background there, and so many people have this, and I was one of these people at one point, had this, you know, misperception that, oh, if I live in the mountains, or if I live in the country, in the hills, that protects us from tornadoes. This is obviously evidence that that's not true.
Yeah, they hit cities, they go over water, they don't stop at hills. Yeah, it's all those are myths for sure. Also want to show you real quick on our way out as we go to commercial break some video out of the Nashville area where wind and hail has been a big issue tonight. That threat spreads all the way up to the north too.
Hey, it's me, your dry skin.
Welcome back, everyone, to Weather Underground. Feet kicked up on the back porch. Here comes a storm. Run for cover. That's what this person did in Birmingham. And then watch what happens. Boy, the atmosphere just unloads. Mother Nature just down come the trees. Look at stuff flying by. Could have been a really quick tornado spin by. Amazing stuff, right? Boy, and this is why we warn you. Don't go out and look for the storm. Look, another tree comes down. Don't go out and look for the storm. And even when you're inside, don't be by windows. That can be really dangerous. Debris can hit windows, crack those windows, hurt you. But we have been hit hard and often in Alabama today. Numerous tornadoes that have touched down. In fact, one we tracked here on Weather Underground that we believe was on the ground for roughly 100 miles. Amazing, this line of storms in particular, what it's produced today. We've also got another line of storms that's really starting to fire up here across Tennessee and Kentucky. Want to take you down toward Birmingham. We're a little bit better now than we were. We still have the flash flood warning in effect, but down south and west of there, tornado warning in Marengo County for the cities of Linden, Myrtlewood, and Providence tonight. So if you're in Linden, well, that storm has come basically right over top of you at this point. I'm going to go ahead and move the tracker. These things moving so quickly, it's hard to keep up with where the storms are, but we're going to move that a little bit. So Providence, it's there. Talo here around, say, 7:53 is when the storm could be near you. North of there, another storm that's getting going. We're in a really ripe atmosphere right now for storms, and some of these could start to spin too. Two different storms, one around Mountainville, one that's just north of Greensboro. And by the way, this is kind of the area where the long track tornado went, was just like this. So this one's taking a somewhat similar path, maybe just slightly north. Greene and Hale counties are under a severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado warning up in Tennessee now. Lewis and Wayne County in Tennessee. That's a radar indicated tornado, and that warning goes until 7:45. You can see a little bit of rotation right in there near in Highway 64 headed toward the Hohenwald area. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning up there that goes from around Hohenwald up toward Boston, and now we're talking the outskirts of Nashville. So Hickman, Maury, and Williamson County under severe thunderstorm warnings. Right in Nashville, pretty intense line overhead as we speak. I'm going to ask my producer and put her on the spot. Do we have the Nashville camera by chance ready to go? We do. Can we see what the Nashville camera looks like? Because, man, we're getting hit hard. Of course. You can hardly see a thing. Check that out. I mean, it is raining cats and dogs for us right now. We already had one really intense storm that came through about 2 hours ago. Look at the lightning with that as well. The intense storm earlier had winds that were over 60 miles an hour. This one may have a little bit less wind, but boy, the rainfall rates are incredible right now. And obviously, we've got a lot of lightning, so you have to be inside with these storms. Don't risk it in that kind of weather. Don't be driving out in this either. Now, look at this. A two-pronged line of storms now. One coming through central Kentucky up into southwestern Ohio, now threatening us around Cincinnati. This line about to come up through central Indiana. Then we've got these storms down through northern Georgia, including north side of Atlanta. Look at these storms right here. Really intense, heavy rainfall with these storms. I want to go back to those storms that are up in Ohio because we've got some new warnings up around Cincinnati I want to update you on. There's a look, and that's going to come right into Hamilton County, at least the west side of Hamilton County. Not sure the radar wants to pop on. There we go. So severe thunderstorm warning, Boone, Dearborn, Hamilton County is going to be right here in Cincinnati. That warning until 9:15 tonight for that storm right there. That's going to be a hailer as it rolls on through. But you look at the bigger picture here down through North Carolina. We've still got the warning outside of Greensboro tonight as well. Severe thunderstorm warning for us around Melville, including Alamance County. So if you're in Mabane or Graham or in Burlington, again, if you can be inside tonight with some of these big hailers and wind makers, you're going to do yourself some big favors here. If you noticed on that map, a lot of green polygons indicating where we have flash flooding going on tonight, Dr. Knapp. Boy, this becomes a really dangerous concern overnight.
It does, because when it gets dark and we've had a lot of rain, water covering a lot of roads, and people are still out or get out, it can be life-threatening, and that's why flash flood warnings are issued. And look at the last 24 hours how Mississippi, Alabama, even northwest Georgia have taken the brunt of most of the heavy rainfall, and it's still raining in a lot of those same areas. So flood warnings and flash flood warnings extend over hundreds of miles in this part of the country, and this is just the last 6 hours, especially northeast Alabama and northwestern Georgia. And I wanted to highlight the Fort Payne, Alabama area along I-59. This is southwest of Chattanooga, northeast of Birmingham. And they're under a flash flood warning with a considerable threat until 9:30 local time. And look at these reports. This is water 2 feet deep in some places along Dye Branch on Highway 35 west of Interstate 59. This is the same area that flooded in the Easter weekend 2020 severe weather outbreak. So this is always a component of a severe outbreak, the flash flood problem. Chattanooga, you're under a flash flood warning. Northwest Georgia, stay off the roads. The roads are dangerous because of water, and the severe threat is ongoing.
Welcome back to Weather Underground, everybody. We got some video to share with you. This out of Nelson County, Kentucky. Wow, you can't even see anything. This is hail, but it almost looks like a blizzard, doesn't it? You can't see anything, and you see white stuff just flying all over the place, but you see the bounce. That's how you know that it's hail in these gusty winds. So we've had quite a few hail reports today and this evening. In fact, about 24 different hail reports, a lot of them into the Ohio River Valley and into the Tennessee River Valley as well. All right, more video of some of the hail as it continues to come in here to the Weather Channel. This is in Nashville. Oh, those are some big hail chunks, quarter size. I'd say at least mixed in maybe with some smaller hail across that area. Quite a few hail reports in and around Nashville, as large as golf balls. That's the biggest hail that I've seen reported so far in Tennessee. And then this is another view of some of the hail and the heavy rain that just all came down at once and poured on you, Nashville. You were under a severe thunderstorm warning earlier this evening. Now, and here, last but not least, goodness gracious, oh, I see flying branches out of this one. You're looking at this with me for the first time, so I didn't know what we were looking at, but wow, yeah, you can definitely see some chunks of hail. You can see how bad the visibility has been tonight too, so that's something to keep in mind. We've got a lot of moisture to work with these storms, meaning your visibility is going to be reduced. We're going to get flash flooding, ponding of water on the roadways. It's going to be very difficult to see tornadoes as well as they get wrapped in rain, not to mention the fact that the sun's going down in all these areas also. So let's get you caught up to date. Our area of low pressure is lifting northward now, so it's moving into the Ohio Valley. Our cold front still trailing back off towards the west. It's cleared a good portion of Mississippi and into western Tennessee, but yet to pass you in Alabama, so likely to get a new tornado watch issued here to replace the one that's in effect by the top of the hour. So just a heads up on that. That will likely include you into the Birmingham area. Look at all the storms. We've got a lot of lightning. We've got some warnings that are out there, some in Indiana, some working their way towards the Cincinnati metro area. So we'll take you into Greene County, Beach Creek and Worthington under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. That one could be producing some hail as well as some damaging winds. That's in Indiana. We'll take you over here into southwestern Ohio. These storms coming out of Kentucky, hidden in the Pennyroyal Parkway right now, by the way, just a heads up on that. But Cincy, there may be some hail as well as some damaging winds, frequent lightning with this as it tracks up towards the north. So this is going to be affecting you on the west side of Cincinnati and the suburbs. Gallatin, Switzerland counties, that includes you in Cotton as well as in Patriot and Warsaw. That's until 8:45 for that warning. And then as that lifts northward, it works its way into Boone, Dearborn, and Hamilton counties, including you in Burlington, into Coleraine as well as in Greene. That will last until 9:15, assuming the intensity of this all holds together. But we'll take you out to the broader view, and we're really watching several different lines and several different areas working their way through. So we still have these multiple rounds of storms that we have to deal with. Still a couple of tornado warnings hanging into southern parts of Tennessee, and the tornado watch. Of course, watch means conditions are favorable for tornadoes to occur. Warnings means they're happening now, but that watch includes Louisville stretching down through the Pennyroyal down towards Nashville. That lasts until 11 o'clock tonight. So we have a long ways to go. These storms are holding together, Mike, even with losing some of the heating of the day.
It's amazing to see the staying power of some of these storms, and then we're starting to see some storms fire back where we didn't have any today. I want to show you some of the damage that we've seen around the Birmingham area. This is south side of Birmingham, the Eagle Point area. Look at this home here, and a lot of these homes are very well constructed homes. Second story severely damaged, walls that are missing here, the back deck that's been severely damaged, unfortunately. A lot of trees that have been snapped here. Debris is everywhere, but this is why we tell you, boy, second story is not where you want to be. If you're on the first floor of this home, you're in really good shape. If you're in the basement, even better shape. But if you're on the second story, you're putting yourself in extreme danger. All right, let's go ahead and roll this, but I want to show you the next home next door. This one's beautiful corner lot, big old home, right? You're thinking, oh, life couldn't be any better until this happens. Wow. Check this out. And here's when you kind of break down what the home is. Look at this. I mean, we've got a concrete foundation. Basement is a poured concrete basement. First floor's concrete walls. But look at the whole second story is now off the home. Pulled right off of the concrete. So to me, this is probably EF3 damage at this home. Of course, the National Weather Service will go out there and survey it up close and in person, see how well the home was constructed, and determine what the wind speeds were at best estimate. But, you know, the car in the garage even's got debris on it. Roof damage, roof damage, roof damage, roof damage. But then some homes that don't have much damage at all. Look at this homes over here, nothing, right? And so the sporadic nature of the small vortices within the parent circulation itself. Look at this home right here. Wow. Smashed. I think that's just a different view. Remember, we were showing you the view this direction from before. That's the same home, but brick facade on the front, right? So probably a tornado went in this direction, but that is just amazing to think how much power there is in a really small amount of space as this tornado kind of threaded the needle, so to speak, if you will, because, you know, in particular, I just look at this home, but then you look at this one or you look at this one. There's hardly a bit of damage to those homes at all. So a lot of times you'll have these really tiny spin-ups that last literally for a blink of an eye. They'll last for 2, 3, 4 seconds, but they are so intense that this is what they do. But then the home right next door barely even has a leaf blown off a tree. Amazing stuff, and the Mother Nature just so peculiar, isn't she?
At Domino's, we're more than just pizza for
Currently in our area, 62 degrees with rainy conditions. Tonight, thunderstorms likely. A few storms may be severe. Low 60. Friday, cloudy early with partial sunshine in the afternoon. High 81. Friday night, mostly clear skies. Low 54. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tonight, as we track severe weather for you, look at the nasty storms coming through Nashville. This is our second bout of storms tonight. Whoa, look at the lightning. Boy, it's really lighting us up tonight. It is a really volatile atmosphere right now in Nashville. That is one scary looking sky. Gotta admit, that is like out of a Hollywood movie right there. Almost looks like it's CG'd in there, doesn't it? We've got some really bad storms tonight. Some of those that could produce tornadoes as well. Tornado watch in effect does include Middle Tennessee up into Kentucky and then Indiana as well. We've got another tornado watch down across the deep south. Goes until 1 o'clock tonight. Birmingham, Atlanta, you're included in that. This storm line right here has produced tornadoes throughout the day. These storms up here are now starting to produce tornadoes. Into Birmingham we go. We've had tornadoes all around today. Flash flood warning in effect, but now around Tuscaloosa and Bibb County, severe thunderstorm warning. This is a really intense storm right here coming past Duncanville across Highway 82. It's going to ride right up I-20, but in Duncanville, Lakeview, West Blockton, in just past Tuscaloosa, we're getting the really nasty storm there. Lawrence, Lewis, and Maury County here in Middle Tennessee, that storm potentially producing a tornado in the Mount Pleasant area. We want you to get to shelter quickly. There's rotation right in there, so it's about to come over, say, County Road 20, eventually Highway 412 tonight. As we time this out for you here, Barnesville 7:50, the expected arrival time for you. Ethora here around 7:58, Mount Pleasant around 8:03. There's the storm line that's come through Nashville. Still watching that camera down there. So much lightning with that storm. Not severe thunderstorm warned. But really intense line. Want to now show you what we just got some new video on Greensboro, Alabama. Look at that tornado. Oh my goodness. Right behind the tree line there in that home. You know, we're following tornadoes today. And some of them on the ground for one we tracked for roughly 100 miles. It was on the ground, but that's some. Look at the inflow into the storm there. That is just an amazing view. The whole thing, I mean, the looks like the rotation starts here. You can't even see on left-hand side of your screen how far there we go. Maybe there's a little bit better view. So there's the tornado right there, it looks like. And you can just see how it's spiraling up like that. That is just new video into us here out of Greensboro, Alabama. But even sometimes the inflow winds, and that's what you're seeing here into the storm, sometimes those inflow winds can exceed 100 miles an hour and be just as damaging as the tornado itself. And as you hear the storm tracker there, Scott Peak say, it's huge. It is. Indeed, it is. So wild views, Jackie. We're getting so many videos of the tornadoes themselves, the damage that they've caused. Really heartbreaking stuff today. We know about a half a dozen people have lost their lives, and the threat continues overnight.
It does, and now we have that new watch that goes till 1 o'clock in the morning. That includes Birmingham. We've got a tornado watch in effect also for Atlanta, Georgia. That goes till 2 a.m. A new severe thunderstorm warning. Not Atlanta proper, but north side of town. That includes Cherokee and Cobb County. So watch out for hail and damaging winds with those storms that are rolling in on the north side. So let's time this out for you because we have hours to go with these storms that are going to be lingering across parts of the southeast. I mean, our cold front is still way back here, right? We're working its way through Mississippi right now, and that's why we have that new watch issue that's going to have to include you, unfortunately, for Birmingham, stretching down towards Montgomery. So a couple of different lines of storms may be developing tonight. This is what the radar might look like at 11 o'clock. Clusters of thunderstorms and individual storms across eastern Tennessee working their way back once again into western parts of the Carolinas. Here's midnight. Here's 1 o'clock in the morning. So you can see this is a slow progression progression. We will be losing the heating of the day, but we still have some instability that's going to be left, that a few of these storms may stay severe even after 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So you need a way to be alerted when you go to bed tonight. That's right. Have multiple ways. Have your phone alert set right, and hopefully you've got your NOAA weather radio as well. Now, as we head towards tomorrow, we may see some weakening in the morning with this line, but as that front sags to the south and southeast, we'll still have to watch the eastern Carolinas, central and southeastern parts of Georgia for severe weather to ramp back up as we head into tomorrow afternoon. So looking once again at some of the areas for the Torcon numbers, Huntsville, we're up there to a 9, Chattanooga, north parts of Georgia up there at a number 7. So we still have rounds of storms on the way, and this really heightens that risk too, Mike, for flash flooding.
It does, and so many places are going to suffer tonight. If you're not, getting hit by tornadoes or strong winds, you might be getting the flooding. I want to get back to the tornado warning we've got here in Middle Tennessee, including Lawrence, Lewis, Maury counties right now. This is going to be coming maybe close to the town of Columbia here. So I would say short term, Mount Pleasant. Get to a safe spot as quickly as you can with a radar-indicated tornado. I'll put this in motion for you here. It might be a little obscured. Could be a little bit of rain wrapping going on in there, but a confirmed tornado that has touched down for us here. There is a little bit of rotation detected right in here along County Road 20 tonight, headed toward the Columbia area. So we again encourage you to get into your safe spot as quickly as you can. As we time that out for you, Mount Pleasant around 8:03, Gant around 8:11. Follow the storm line farther north here. We've got newly issued severe thunderstorm warning, including Davidson County. It's going to be south side of Nashville, so around Franklin, getting hit with a very strong line of storms there, and Williamson County as well. That warning goes until 8:30 this evening. We've got continuing coverage for you coming up here with meteorologist Carl Parker and Mark Elliott next.
Walter, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on